Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. The Braves stayed hot at Truist Park. They're now 14-4 on the season, which is an MLB best record at home. And it was the same guys. It was the same way. This is how they've been winning. Like, shock. Stop me if you've heard this before. It was a pitcher's duel at Truist Park. Imanaga, the Japanese left-handed, he ran into some troubles. The Braves had some opportunities. He walked a lot of guys. This is the guy who has 1.1 walks per 9 innings. I think he had 4 last night over 5 innings. They ran his pitch count up, but they just could not break through. He goes 5 scoreless. Reynaldo Lopez also goes 5 scoreless, lowers his ERA down to 1.35. He was only at 71 pitches. It was kind of weird that they took him out and put in Kerr. It turns out he had back tightness. The Braves didn't want to take any chances. Good thing that they didn't, considering Austin Riley is dealing with something. Possibly, we thought maybe it's an oblique strain. They come out after the game. It looks like he's going to avoid an IL stint. So on the injury front, looked good. Braves got to win. AJ Minter got to save. Brian Snitker, hell yes. Hell yes. Because I was not sure if Brian Snitker would go out there and put AJ Minter in back in that situation. But this is just what makes Brian Snitker a better manager than us that are sitting here on the couch. Because, yes, it wasn't sexy. He gives up 2 base runners. You start to think, damn, this could really shoot his confidence. He gets out of it with the double play, gets the next guy out, no harm done. How much that helps his confidence remains to be seen, but I just love that he threw him right back into the fire and said, hey, I don't want you to think about this for 2 weeks, because there's going to be an opportunity where I'm probably going to want to put you out there to close game. Go out there and do it right now. Go out there and do it right now. Let's get this monkey off your back. And, he did it. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come if he has these opportunities later in the season.
Yeah, same song and dance. Braves bats still sleepy. And it was uncharacteristic because they finished with 10 hits. And on the season, the Braves have been one of the best teams in baseball with runners in scoring position. Just couldn't bring any home last night. It was the same song and dance. Great pitching. Bats were a little sleepy. And we just broke through a little bit. And, individual things I want to talk about. I'm blanking on his name. The guy who replaced
Zach Short.
Zach Short. What the hell? Great defense, great offense, stepped up in a bind. That's just so happens to be what the Braves do. They call on unlikely heroes, and they come through. Reynaldo Lopez, again, to Chase's point, put out another impressive outing. Ronald Acuna Jr. got picked off for the 3rd time in 2 games, I think it was. Again, people were calling for him to be benched, which is just ludicrous. He comes up with a couple of big hits, including the 2nd RBI of the night, I believe. And I think all in all, it was just another impressive outing. I want to talk a little bit more about AJ Minter. And I said it yesterday. I don't know why anybody was I think, to your point, maybe it was because we'd have Raisel Iglesias probably available tonight as to why Brian Snitker wouldn't potentially call on AJ Minter. I was not of that belief. That I just thought Brian Snitker has been the same manager essentially since he took over in Atlanta, and he's a player's manager. He's going to go to bat for his guys. He's going to give his guys the opportunity to right their own ship. He's obviously going to do everything in his power, including the coaching staff, to put his guys in a position to succeed. But we've seen this song and dance before with AJ Minter. He's going to go to bat for his guys. He's going to give his guys an opportunity to regain that confidence, and AJ Minter did last night.
Yeah, I do think hopefully we'll see how much the confidence. It wasn't like he went out there and dominated. He did get that. Like I said, hopefully he gets the monkey off his back. I think there was an argument to be made for why he shouldn't be used because he's just so good in every other situation. So, why put him in those situations if you don't have to? But listen, if there is going to be a time, and listen, God forbid someone gets injured.
I was going to say, having a versatile bullpen is never a bad
What
thing.
if Raisel Iglesias gets injured or he's out for the season? You're going to have to find a closer, and AJ Minter is going to be one of your top guys, one of your top options. You kind of want to make sure this game in May, it doesn't mean much, really. Like, if he went out there and blew another game, you'd probably be okay. You're probably going to still go on to win the division. You're definitely going to go on to make the playoffs. But it could pay major dividends down the road. It really reminds me of 2021. I mean, one of the biggest reasons AJ Minter is going to get paid the way that he's going to get paid, whether it's by the Braves or somebody else, is because they have shown so much confidence, specifically Brian Snitker, dating back to 2021 when he went to Gwinnett, was really struggling, had an ERA just south of 5. He has all this talent. He has all this stuff. They bring him back. They start throwing. They kind of ease him back into it. They put him back in high leverage situation. He struggles a little bit. They just keep pounding and pounding and pounding. The result, he has a fantastic postseason, shuts out the Dodgers over 6 innings, 4 appearances, 8 strikeouts. It leads you back to the World Series. a big part of that, because they knew, especially against the Los Angeles Dodgers, a team that Minter's had so much success against, they knew it was going to be big in that moment to get them back to that spot. And that's kind of what you're seeing here. It's a little bit different, but there could be a time later in the year, whether it's the postseason, whether it's Iglesias going down, where they need them to have this confidence. And if they lose a game in May, trying to get that confidence back, that's something that they're willing to live with. And these are the kind of things that even me, who is a baseball guy who has watched all the Braves for pretty much 28 years, 29 years now. I just had a birthday. 29 years of my existence, I've watched pretty much every Braves game. I don't even think about. And these are things that a lot of other managers don't think about. But Brian Snitker and this Braves front office, whoever's in there making those decisions, they do think about. And that's what kind of puts them ahead of the rest and ahead of the curve and makes big differences later in the season.
Yeah, long game. It's all about the long game. Baseball is a marathon, is not a sprint. And another long game move was Alex Anthopoulos trading for Ray Kerr, taking on the salary of Matt Carpenter. And Ray Kerr's only 2 outings, 3 innings, hasn't given up a run. Last night against the Cubs, goes 2 innings, 6th and 7th. Strikes out 3, 2 ground balls, fastball sitting at like 97, curveball looks nasty. It looks like, it's weird to say, a 29-year-old, still young, in terms of like tread on the tires, but he is 29 years old. He's got options under team control through 2030. It just seems like if it does work out, it's another one of those Alex Anthopoulos specials. And as far as right now, I mean, you got to feel good about it.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff is, reminiscent of maybe like a Tyler Matzik. I mean, you think about when Tyler Matzik was throwing 97, 98. He's also a versatile piece, which we talk about all the time, that can go multiple innings. And I think that's what really made him attractive. He's a guy that was pitching multiple innings when that came up, his first big outing and kind of a high leverage situation, even though it was just the 6th and 7th innings. And he comes out there and he strikes out, I think, 3 or 4 batters. The stuff, I mean, it plays. Like 97 from the left side with that kind of breaking ball, and you can go multiple innings. You're going to have a very long career in this league. And it hasn't quite panned out to this point, but like you said, how many times does it not quite pan out for a guy? Then he comes to the Braves, where you're not asked to be this like high leverage superstar. You're just like, hey,
go be a guy.
When your time comes, we're going to need you occasionally. Tonight was one of those nights. Lopez exited with back tightness. A lot of guys, Pierce Johnson on the IL. Not sure what's up with Joe Jimenez. He's only pitched 1 time in 6 games. We'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, Raisel Iglesias has been worked heavily. Even AJ Minter has been worked very heavily this season. Go just like when your opportunities arise, make the most of it. He did it. And yeah, you got to be excited about him. When Pierce Johnson does come off the IL, someone's going to have to go down. It's hard to imagine it's going to be Ray Kerr.
Yeah, really hard. I don't imagine it'll be Ray Kerr. I imagine it'll probably be Jackson Stevens, and he could be, he could elect free agency. I believe he may have a split contract. I don't know exactly.
I think he has a split contract.
But it's going to be impossible to, when all you do is go up and perform like Ray Kerr has. I don't know how Alex Anthopoulos is going to option him back to Gwinnett. He does have options, like I said, under team control through 2030. If this works out for the Atlanta Braves, once again, we're tipping our caps to Alex Anthopoulos, who, like you mentioned, with AJ Minter and Brian Snitker playing that long game, Alex Anthopoulos is thinking 4, 5, 6 moves down the road. We're thinking about October in the winter time, and that's why Alex Anthopoulos is one of the best GMs in sports.
Yeah, and I don't want to turn this on a sour note, but it's just another thing when you think about the future of Tyler Matzik with this organization and how he really fits in. I mean, you kind of look at Ray Kerr's stuff and you look at Tyler Matzik stuff, and it's like, that's who you used to be, and it's like, you hate to say, Tyler Matzik, but to be straight up honest with all parties, and I think Tyler Matzik would tell you himself, unless he comes back in this next rehab start and is throwing 95, 96 and striking out a bunch of players, it's hard to imagine ever getting another chance with the Atlanta Braves. And it may be in his best interest to go somewhere else, go to a place that needs a reliever. And maybe he, has a resurgence in his career. He's done it once before. He did it with the Atlanta Braves. This is the man that was out of the league in independent ball, so don't count him out.
Yeah.
But as far as his Braves tenure, when you see a guy like Ray Kerr kind of look like he's taking his job, I mean, that's exactly what's happening right now.
And even just going further down the list and not specifically lefties or righties, I mean, Ken Giles is still down there biding time. Dasbel Hernandez is still there, and he looks fantastic.
Yeah,
and Gwinnett,
he just won pitcher of the week for the Gwinnett Stripers, 6 innings of shutout ball. And then if you look, I think his last 7 or 8 appearances, he hasn't given up a run, has like 15 strikeouts over 9, 10 innings. I mean, that's a guy that really has a chance to be a high leverage reliever for the Braves sooner rather than later. And I imagine we'll see both of them as injuries arise and stuff like that. But it's a good problem to have. This pitching staff has been outstanding from top to bottom. Ray Kerr, Ken Giles, Doswell Hernandez. Really, really exciting stuff from the Atlanta Braves.